You asked me why I haven't retired, and why should I retire? I haven't worked a day in my life.
In Washington, D.C., Dr. Clive Callender has been leading a national organ donation crusade.
How many of you have signed organ donor cards?
The one thing about transplantation is that you see people transform from death to life.
So you got two miracles. You got a kidney transplant and you had open heart surgery.
I was the third black transplant surgeon in the world. Being the third black transplant surgeon in the world was exciting because I recognized that as a black transplant surgeon that they didn't listen to me unless a white person felt that what I said was appropriate. But none of that stopped me. I had a mission. I had to let people know that we matter and that what we do needed to be done in the right way. I would never have believed that coming from Harlem that I would be able to accomplish so many wonderful things. My twin brother and my sister and my father and everybody else felt that I was insane, wanting to become a medical doctor. I didn't have the grades and I didn't have the funds. And lo and behold, both of those obstacles were overcome. And I got accepted to medical school. Got the funds thanks to my church to go to Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. Actually finished at the end of 4 years as the #1 student in my class. My initial reasons to increase donation rates was because initially I felt that if we didn't increase donation rates, we wouldn't be able to get transplanted. When you have a community that is afflicted and affected with hypertension, diabetes, and kidney disease 4 times as often as all other ethnic groups, then it's something that we need to do for each other. When I came to Howard and started the transplant program in 1973, we then recognized over the next 5 years that most of the patients I transplanted were black, but the people who donated the organs were white. Members of the Southeastern Organ Procurement Foundation came to me. They said, you know, we have an issue. 70% of the patients on dialysis in the United States are black, but less than 3% of the donors are black. Could you help us with that? And so I looked at the data and I was astounded. With $500, we went into the District of Columbia and encountered 40 people in the district, give them $40 apiece to participate in surveys. We were able to identify the 5 reasons why African Americans were reluctant to become donors. First one was that blacks were not aware that they needed organs more than any other ethnic group. They didn't know that we were disproportionately afflicted with hypertension, diabetes, and obesity. 2, religious myths and misperceptions. Concerns that in that great getting at morning, you go to the pearly gates. The Lord will say to you, you don't have your eyes, you won't be able to see great-grandmama, or you don't have your heart, you won't be able to get in. 3rd, had to do with a concern that people of color were used as guinea pigs. And the Tuskegee incident and others demonstrate that we were being used as guinea pigs, and that needed to stop. 4th had to do with the concern that if I give organs, that they're only going to go to the white people. Final thing is fear that if I go to the hospital and they think I'm going to be a donor, they want to get my organs rather than saving my life. At the beginning of the survey, only 2 out of 40 signed donor cards. At the end of the interview session, all 40 signed donor cards. This said to us, we had not only identified the reasons, we'd also identified a solution. This is the kind of way we could go into the community, educate, and empower them to become part of the solution to the problem. Because of the success of this effort in the DC area, the Dow Chemical Company, which at that point had been developed Agent Orange, which was not only killing the Vietnamese, but was killing American veterans. And they needed some positive PR. And they funded me to go across the United States of America to 25 cities of color to talk about increasing the number of blacks who become donors and become aware of the need for transplantation.
The reality is that we as a group have not been doing our share, at least up to this point.
We were able to demonstrate with a Gallup poll that the number of blacks who now are aware of the highly successful nature of transplantation and the need to donate between 1985 and 1990 had tripled. So what we recognized then was that, yes, people say blacks will not donate. However, we demonstrated and proved blacks will donate under the right circumstances. We said, hey, if it's going to work in the black community, the community they say will not donate, let's use it in all ethnic groups.
MOTEP.
National MOTEP.
The National Minority Organ Tissue Transplant Education Program.
We were able to, in 1995 to get a $6 million grant to create MOTEP sites in 15 cities across the United States to try to increase the number of minorities who donate. As a consequence of this effort, the number of minorities who donated doubled. And so that miraculously we'd had a program that began with nothing and became something. Something that was the model for the rest of the country and the rest of the world to recognize that by going into the community, educating and empowering the community, that this is the most important and powerful agent of change that you can have.
Detroit, New Jersey, Chicago, Atlanta. You can't be in all those places.
Yeah, exactly. 15 sites across the United States. What I think we did was to help them recognize that it's very selfish of us to help each other. And that story won the day. It wasn't any greatness in my oratory. It was the fact that black people needed organs more than anybody else.
Darryl?
I remember when I first started, and I started doing all my writing, because I know nobody else cared about what happened with the blacks. And so I wrote because if I didn't write, nobody else would. In the days of yore, I personally felt that I was the only one who cared about it. And so therefore I did everything I could, because I felt it was important to bring attention to the fact that we matter. Seeing what has happened over the years and the decades, it's clear to me that we now matter. And we have many transplant surgeons of color. We have many women who are transplant surgeons of color. We have many men who are transplant surgeons of color. So we now have a team that can help do what I was trying to do by myself initially.